am a big fan of radio control.
Icon. So it's like I've my first day here at the company. Let's see. There we go. I've said it. So hey, let's try this again. Hello, all. Thank you for warning us. We have a show for you. So here's what's going to go on. We're going to talk about Kerry went and saw a really cool time at this Barbie exhibition in Montreal. We have Kerry's silent movie, My Three Words, because Kerry still has laryngitis. Evidently, I just mute my speaker. So that's how I handle the not talking. And we also are going to talk a little bit about my new YouTube channel, Play Photos and as Meditation, Photography as Meditation, because it's an example of playing for time. So we had this idea. Kerry said, hey, you know, it might be nice to kind of run people through that. And as part of that, I'll show you some of my keepers folder, and I'll explain what that means. So Kerry, you went up and went to you have laryngitis still, which is why you're not talking. You went up and one of the things that you did over the holidays is you went to a lot of different places. We covered a bunch of them last week, but you also went and saw an exhibition in Montreal. Were you a Barbie kind of person growing up? Was that one of those things that you were into a lot as a kid? Not really. Yeah, you didn't strike me exactly as a Barbie kind of person. So, but I played with them a lot. You had them like everyone did. I played with them a lot because I pretended they were action figures, you know. So I would just like, this Barbie is now Wonder Woman, and this Barbie is now like, you know, Spider-Man or something. But they sure weren't popular. But they've been popular for a while. And then, of course, with the Barbie movie, it went so well. It made so much money. Kerry says, I'm still mad that Sarah Witherby took one of my Barbies and didn't return it in first grade. That's Sarah Witherby. I hope she's not living her best life. I hope that she knows that guac is extra. The Barbie movie did exceptionally well. I went with my ex-wife and my children and a bunch of their fans, and it was so super fun. Chloe? It was so super fun. The Barbie movie, it was fine. So you weren't like a super giant fan of it, because I would have turned right around and watched it a second time right away. I thought it was fun. I liked the message. I liked America, whatever her name is, her big speech near the end. I loved Kate McKinnon as like messed up Barbie or whatever she was called or whatever. I thought she was one of the best characters in the whole thing. And of course, Ken with his something Mojo Dojo Casa thing. I did love Weird Barbie, yeah. So we're going to take a look at it. No, you were surprised though when you went to this exhibition, because you were like just looking for stuff to do. It seemed like a thing. You could drag some people to it. It was actually a lot about fashion and other things along the way, right? Like there's more to it than what you saw. Oh, EJ's here. I have zero interest in seeing it. Oops, sorry. What'd you say? Play for time gets me to do things I'd never do. Yeah, so that was the whole point. The reason we redid the show from being the backpack show to Play for Time is that it's how do you keep engaging as your life goes on? You know, it's so easy to choose to sit on the couch. It's so easy to do nothing. How do you force yourself out and force yourself to do new stuff? So that's kind of why we did it. So you went and saw the Barbie exhibition, and that's one of the things that you did. Exhibit. Cannot say that word just straight up. I see you typing away. The Barbie exhibition in Montreal featured special edition Barbies of celebrities dressed in gowns designed by famous fashion designers. All right, let's push play and see what we get. It's a pretty short clip, but we'll see some really neato stuff in the way. I have so many things I want to talk about. So the Barbies and gowns inspired by famous works of art like Starry Night were amazing. Okay, so if you are an editing nerd, I was so loving Dan's transitions and stuff like that. Dan edited this, Dan Gorgone, the little heart transition, the color-coded transitions, the everything. Like, Dan does an incredible editing job. I will never be at that level, but I aspire every time I see what he does. I have to admit, as I'm watching it, I'm kind of like, oh, whatever, Barbie stuff, that's cool. It's a segment for our show. And then when I saw famous people like I Dream of Jeannie and Edward and Bella and all those sorts of things, I was like, oh, look, there's something I know. I think it's funny how that's how we work, right? Like we connect with things. Wait, play that again. Play that comment again because I didn't see what you said. I also love the wedding section because they had Susan Lucci playing Erica Kane. How fun. I love that. Chloe says, that was such a fun clip. I love the music with all the added effects. By the way, I'm listening through earbuds, so I'm getting the bass from that. It is a nice sound. That music sounded great. If you're just listening to it out in the open air, it might not sound as good, but that clip had some rockin' sounds. Chloe, there was a Scottish Barbie that looked just like you. Maybe they were impinging on your intellectual property rights there. Yeah, I saw Edward and Bella. I saw Barbie. I saw Wonder Woman and I Dream of Jeannie and all that. And I was loving it because I just felt that dumb, like, hey, I know those characters. And it's funny. I also thought early on when there's that clip with the runway with the models, I saw the flash and I was like, what the heck? Why is someone taking flash photos in a museum? It was part of the exhibit. I got it after the fact. Ooh, an Edward and Bella wedding set. Well, then I can watch everything. So that was fun. That was an interesting experience. Scotland made the cut. Chloe says that every time I include a picture of Scotland, from something I'm out photographing, like in Newburyport, Kerry, on the way from the parking out to that main street, when we walk through that little tunnel, it's the back of the boba tea shop. There's a Scottish flag in that section, for instance. And of course, Chloe sees it right away. Or like when we were down in Boston for the tree lighting and all that. So they had a Barbies from around the world collection. So they had a lot. How long was the exhibit, would you say? Was it like something you could do in an hour, or was it like a spend part of the day and eat some sandwiches kind of a thing? Thousands of Barbies. That's cool. So I guess it depends how much you like a Barbie. If you're me in a museum, you just walk right through and you're done. And if it's somebody who actually invests their time in a museum, they can really get all this stuff. So about an hour. That's cool. Was there Barbie merch, or was it just the dolls? No. Okay. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. I think they could have some merch. And it was free. Well, that's kind of cool. It's always nice when there's an exhibit that's free. So you weren't here to do the My Three Words experience live, but you were able to put something together. And I guess I was talking in mute about the fact that when you and Dan went to film this, I tagged along, and I mostly had to stay out of Dan's way. But because you've lost your voice, you decided to make a silent picture. And you'd planned to do a video, of course, explaining your 3 words, but with no voice, that's not going to happen. So you made a silent picture. So we really played into that, and by we, Dan, and his editing and everything, and his direction. Dan was giving like such good film direction. There's a scene in this that when I saw it, like the first time I watched the demo of it, I was like, oh. And so I hope everyone else feels the same sort of a thing. It felt like movie magic. So Kerry's version of My Three Words. Just so that we couldn't wring that slight bit more pretension out of it, we end it with Finn. It was a freezing cold day, the hat blowing off. Oh my gosh. So, by the way, my contribution to this is just trying to stay out of Dan's way. So I am way down the way. And all of a sudden, Dan says, oh, Kerry's hat blew off. I got to go get it. So when he said that, I wasn't paying attention beforehand. I'm taking pictures. That was planned? This became part of the plan? Is that just because it was so windy you knew you could make a hat blow up? How'd that work out? And EJ asked the question, does the hat symbolize something? So I loosened the hat and turned my face to the wind. Yeah, okay, so it was I turned my mouth to breathe. Chocolate rain. So is there, and it symbolizes life. So life's gonna blow off your head. Life's gonna do what life's gonna do, that kind of a thing. Sometimes the wind blows your hat off. I like that. I like that. You are a person who's known for your voice. You are a person who has hosted very many very successful podcasts with that voice, made all kinds of videos, announced people at events, spoken on stage at events on intellectual property law. You don't have a voice, although it is slowly coming back. What has several weeks of laryngitis meant to you? Like, what has it taught you? What are you feeling along the way? Curious to note, if anything. I think before I make the effort to communicate, well, isn't that interesting though, right? Like, because you can't just weigh in on every little thing. You have to kind of choose your battles. and also you have to type it. Is this really worth saying? Yeah, I think that's tricky. I think it's kind of tricky. I think also the whole experience. Yes, and you're still funny. Yeah, no, you still find your ways to be funny. That's for damn sure. You've expressed a lot more pantomime. Who knew? Joanne says, I loved the timing and the start with the waves breaking at just the right moment. That's a Dan special. Dan is so great at tying the visual to the music. And by the way, that scene where the water is coming in, like near the end or whatever, I'm watching that from way across the way. And Dan just like held his ground as the waves were coming in to get the shot he wanted. And I was like, that dude's going to have soakers. And it was 0-y degrees out. It was so freaking cold. I thought he's going to die. He's going to die from pneumonia making this clip. But he lived. Kerry says, my face is very expressive. It turns out that helps in my situation. Yeah, no words, and you still kind of got the job done, like Bob the Builder would say. So that was fun. And it was good to see your 3 words. By the way, kind of lost in the conversation here was anchor, wayfinder, and I think they were, right? Or wayfinder, anchor, tack, based on a dream. So that's interesting. So you had a dream that you were on a pirate ship and you were chasing down Davy Jones. I had a dream rich in symbolism. Oh, I love it. I love it. That sounds really good. Fed it into ChatGPT for themes like that too. Joanne says, I loved the nautical theme. So that's really awesome. I think also in the process, it's exciting to see what comes in these moments because these words come together, right? You grew up near the water. I can't read as fast as you put it up. I grew up near the water, so the theme felt right. Yeah, no, for sure. And we're by the ocean now. It's not that far away. It's definitely a kind of place where those kinds of themes can go. Some years they come really fast for people. Some years they don't. They just all just glue pretty fast in that time frame. I still didn't have them mid-December. Yeah, so it was like right up until the wire, so to speak. Does the pressure of knowing that we're going to all reveal them on Jan 1, does that help or does that hinder in that process to you? It's not about revealing. It's not about wanting them. I don't understand. It's not about wanting them. It's about jumping into the new year. Yeah, so that makes sense. So that as you're getting closer and closer to it. Annette says, I'm with Joanne. I love the nautical themes, especially wayfinding. Yep. By the way, somehow now Annette can communicate back to our platform. I don't know what happened there. I didn't want to waste the time. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I think they're great. I think they're wonderful ones. I think that I've seen some great versions of my 3 words over the last couple of weeks. It's been really exciting to watch them. Tell us mine again. Okay. First one is gambit, like in chess, like taking a risk, but a calculated risk, but sort of layered into that as well. I stole that from Rob Hatch because he had mentioned a little bit before the 3 words webinar. He said he'd been playing chess more lately. And I was like, that's so weird. I watched a video or 2 and it kind of made me think I wanted to get back into it. And what chess symbolizes to me is it's one of those things I was okay at, but that I never tried to get any better at. And so I decided I would like to learn more. And so I did a thing where I used the word gambit to mean be willing and ready to take intelligent risks, because a gambit isn't just a risk, it's like a thought out risk. And I also reminded myself that I wanted to get better at certain things that I do instead of just accepting my skill level the way it is. Thank you. The second one is at symbol home, which is technically 2 words, but I'm cheating a little. Thanks, Annette. And then at home basically just means, maybe think through your purchases. You don't have to buy all things all the time. You don't have to, a lot of times you have stuff at home. And basically just a reminder that, even inside myself, I have in myself the things that I want. One of my favorite comedic documentaries is called Kumare, and it's about this guy who pretends to be, yes, like the "We have McDonald's at home" meme. The movie Kumare was about a guy who pretended, he's a guy from New York, but he's of Indian descent, and he pretends to be an Indian guru named Kumare. And it would be sort of Sacha Baron Cohen-esque, except that his real point is that people really put a lot of energy into the concept of some kind of external mystic. And his biggest point back to everybody was, maybe you are the change that you seek. Maybe like it's on board. And so at home also means that to me. And then the third one is event. And it's just to remind myself to make everything in my life kind of an event, like show up, be there, be present, put the care and consideration into the moments that I'm experiencing and make them events. Don't just show up. Be there for my children that way. If I'm going to hang out with my kids, then focus on my kids, make it as important as going to the Oscars or something. So that's my 3. I have tons of Barbie pics, by the way. If anyone wants to see them, I'll put them on Instagram or something. That's great to know. Probably there was just so much there. So we're going to transition into, I was explaining it. So the idea behind us doing Play for Time was this concept that we're going to make a show that we pivoted the whole meaning from Backpack Show. Play for Time is about, how do you stay engaged as years go on? What do you do to keep yourself engaged with life? And so Play for Time is about that. And so I launched a second YouTube channel, which is it's called Photography as Meditation. And the whole premise of it is just that I can learn and express and test out the things I'm telling you to do in Play for Time by launching a new channel. And the whole concept of the channel is to do even more attention to my photography. And the whole idea of photography as meditation is, instead of using your phone, if you've got a camera in your hands, 1, you don't have your phone in your hands. 2, you have to focus on what you're doing. And 3, you have to be in that moment to capture that moment. Like, you really can't really half-ass it. And I wanted that as kind of a means to meditate in a different way than just finding my breath and all that sort of a thing. So that's kind of why I built the concept. And I thought I would show you maybe just a little bit of that YouTube channel for one thing. So I'll just put this up. I didn't add it to the stage. There we go. So this is the new YouTube channel. And it's just youtube.com/@Chris Brogan photos. Don't know why. Photography is meditation. I've already got 286 subscribers. I've already put 22 videos up if you include some of the shorts. I have done my 3 words I put on there for this time. I also have a story about vintage lenses. I have another story about vintage lenses, how to meditate during the holidays. No one watched it. I have another one about meditating for people who aren't good at meditating, how to find time for meditation. So I'm just kind of pushing in these ideas of what it means to communicate and connect and think through all of these things. Yes, and someone does like vintage lenses. I
am a big fan of radio control.
So that's why that clip exists. So I thought, just for some fun, as one of the last things we put up on here, well, he's in the water, he's swimming, he's like very excited, he's very happy. Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace, P-S-H. And I'm going to show on my screen the keepers, which is a folder that I keep of some of my favorite photos. So this is just under 4 minutes of photos that I think are really good. And I don't know, shout out the ones that you like as we go along. And there's some music by some really nice person on it. I forget her name all of a sudden, but I'm sure it's nice. Here you go. And there we go. We made it happen. I love the one with the girl on the bike and the front iPad lying in front of the ambulance. Like what? Yeah, that was, I'm in Central Park in New York City. I look and I'm like, wow, that's like 4 different types of modes of transportation. So I nailed it. It was just very lucky, just a very good opportunity. Things went fine. I was pretty cheery. So that happened. So evolved in creativity in less than a year. Thank you. Well, I mean, I have at least a little bit of background in doing this sort of a thing. I think I really enjoy making creative stuff. I've shot those a long time over a variety of time. But I think that there's a lot of opportunities to tell good stories in these moments. And so I think it's just a great chance. Oh, that's interesting. My StreamYard keeps choosing one of my mics that I'm not even using. It's my other phone just sitting on my desk. It goes, this would be a great mic. So thanks, StreamYard, you dick. I've gone out on outings just because I wanted to push myself in the spirit of play for time. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's definitely the thing, is that I try to make, well, I have a rule for 2025. I shoot 1 selfie and 1 photo at least a day. And if I don't get out of my house to shoot something, I just shoot some crap in my house. And if I look at the end of the year and I've got 26 photos inside my house, then I think I've failed myself. But I think that most days I'm managing to go out and take at least a 30-minute break for myself and do some photo shoot. This is my space, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the plan. That's why there's a play for time. That's why I've been doing the photos as meditation and all that sort of a thing. I think that the whole concept I have in mind for the channel, and like I said, I just launched it a couple of weeks ago. There's 286 subs. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I am not doing it to get a ton of YouTube viewers. I'm doing it to say that everyone should go out and make stuff happen. We want to see how you stay engaged with life. And so I'd love to hear your stories of this. I'd love a little video. I would love a 30 to 60 second video. Chloe has submitted a couple different videos for us over the last little while. I'd love to see even some more. So other people, feel free to submit a little video, 30 to 60 seconds, and we'll put it up on the show if it matches our teams and all that. We want to hear how you are connecting and staying engaged and how you can play for time. Chris at chrisbrogan.com is where you can send it. We'll find a way to get it over the wires. And Kerry, I think we're going to get on out of here. Again, we don't have any intro and outro stuff just yet. We have some jazzy music. Hanging up. Goodbye. Thanks for the show.